Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com, and it is Friday, April 21st, 2023, here with today's NRFIs and YRFIs. Of course, NRFI stands for no runs in the first inning, under half a run in the first inning. All means the same thing. 6 outs, 0 runs recorded. The bet is a winner. YRFI stands for yes runs in the first inning, over half a run in the first inning. Any way you slice it, 6 outs recorded, a run on the board, a YRFI is a winning bet. It happens that fast. It happens that easy. And yes, the bet really is that simple. I know they always sound a little complicated and all that, for some people and the acronyms and all that other stuff. But really, 6 outs, there is a run. That's a YRFI. 6 outs, no runs. That's a NRFI. It is that simple. But anyways, let's look at everything that we have going on here. Of course, we have premium picks at Pickdawgz.com every single day from the world's best handicappers. But if buying picks isn't your thing, a great way to support the site. A lot of people ask me for my Venmo and Cash App and all that other stuff. I'd rather just see you go to the website, click on the Sportsbook tabs over at Pickdawgz.com, sign up for a Sportsbook. This is the win-win. This helps you and it helps us. We get a small bonus from the Sportsbook for you signing up, and at the same time, you get to shop lines, and you can see a $100 bettor that bets 3 bets a day by shopping lines and finding a 10-cent differential, which is pretty easy to find 3 times a day. You can find it way more times than that. Means you save $11,000 a year, which means basically 110 bets that you need to bet, need to win extra just to break even if you're not shopping lines. I don't make these numbers up. These are the numbers, so it's the same thing. A $20 bettor, 5 bets a day, or whether you're a $20 bettor that bets 3 bets a day. Any way you slice it, it's 310. It's 110 extra bets a year that you need to win just to break even. Or you can have multiple sportsbook accounts, shop the lines, and get that extra 10 cents. There. Even on point spread games, you often see the minus 105, minus 115, or minus 120s on those games. If you can get different juice on those games, it's the same thing. It adds up in a hurry, and it's very, very easy to find. So by all means, if you want to support us, that's the way to do it, not Cash Apping or Venmoing us, though we appreciate the thought. But anyways, let's recap yesterday's picks. We're still waiting to catch fire on this show. I think that's what it really is. The Pirates have been straight money on the YRFI for us, though. Once again, cashing with 4 runs in the first inning against Luke Weaver and the Cincinnati Reds. Our next game was the Rockies, who against the Phillies. Yeah, there were runs in the first inning of this one as well. The Phillies, a major disappointment in that one for a lot of bettors, I know. Meanwhile, the Dodgers and the Cubs, the yes runs in the first inning did not hit. Actually, there was runs in the second inning by both teams, but nothing in the first inning. Then the Padres against the Diamondbacks, there was plenty of runs in the game, but the scoring didn't start until the second inning of that game. And then the final pick, we only had 5 picks yesterday. Yes runs first inning in the Giants against the Mets. 13 runs scored in that game, but there wasn't a run scored in that thing until the 4th inning. So no bueno there. But anyways, we got tons of picks today. We're bound to catch fire. We're kind of treading water, going with small winning days, small losing days, and waiting for that heater. We did catch a heater last week where we caught 10 in a row. Let's see if we can do that, because those, of course, make up for all of this chopping wood that we've been doing, which really is not that much fun, to be honest. I love doing the videos, and I love all that kind of stuff, and, of course, enjoy communicating with all of you. But at the same time, I like smashing the books and cashing big tickets. I like that even better. So let's see if we can get on a heater here with these NRFIs. Of course, remember, NRFI, no runs, first inning. 6 outs, 0 runs. A NRFI is a winner. 6 outs, 1 run minimum. If there's more than 1 run, it doesn't matter. At least 1 run scored and 6 outs are recorded. Your YRFI is a winner. So let's get to today's. We got a ton of games on the board. You guys know we're going to talk about all of them. We got afternoon action at Wrigley. We got the Cubs taking on the Dodgers. Drew Smyly, the lefty, up against Arias. And we know that Arias is a good pitcher. We've heard this about him for a long time. I mean, this guy racks up big win numbers. And he's been on the Dodgers, so he's been able to take advantage of playing with some really good ball players. But today at Wrigley, oh man, I used to live in Chicago, so I know about days like today where it's 56 degrees and the wind is blowing straight out to center field at 12 miles an hour. Routine pop flies will be home runs today at Wrigley. I expect to see this. I expect to see balls flying out. According to the betting tools, they're saying NRFI in this one that the Cubs 7 in a row. So I expect to see a high-scoring game, but we're going with the NRFI, which is kind of counterintuitive in this, which in sports betting, not a bad place to be. We'll take the NRFI and the Cubs against the Dodgers. Next pick for today, we're going to go to Tampa Bay taking on the Chicago White Sox. Yes runs first inning. The Rays 5 in a row on the NRFI. These guys get started early, and against the American League, they really get started. And the thing is, Foucher going for the Rays, this is a bullpen game. This is a guy gets hit, He's not like one of these guys that comes in, pitches an inning, and is untouchable. That's not the type of guy that he is. Generally, he is very touchable. He gets touched up plenty. And Michael Kopech on the mound for the White Sox, oh man, this guy gets into a little bit of a funk, and the runs start pouring out of everywhere. Both teams swing the bats very freely. NRFI in the White Sox Rays. Next game, the Pirates. These guys have been NRFIing it up for us for a while. 6 in a row now against the National League. I think we cashed on every one of them. We cashed on them in Colorado. We cashed on them last night against the Cincinnati Reds. We're going to cash against the Reds tonight once again. It's Mitch Keller on the mound for the Pirates up against Ashcraft. Two better pitchers for both these teams, but, as we know with the Pirates and the Reds, consistently inconsistent. So all it's going to take is one slip up by one of these guys, and we'll be cashing our NRFI once again in a Pirates game. We'll take the NRFI and the Pirates Reds. We're playing with house money in this one. Our next one, Rockies up against the Phillies. The Phillies, so overrated this season. An 8-12 team. That's what they are. A lot of people I know, I can't believe the Phillies lost to the Rockies. Believe it. The Phillies have lost, more games than they've won. So they're going to, at this point, it was the same thing for the Phillies at this point last year. They made a run late in the season, and that's how they ended up making the playoffs. Remember, they made the playoffs on the last couple days of the season. They were the last wild card team to even make it into the playoffs. They rode that momentum all the way to the World Series where they lost in the World Series. But at the same time, they were terrible at this point of the year, and they're not very good right now. Aaron Nola gets the ball for the Phillies. He normally doesn't get smacked around until about the third or fourth inning. So we'll have to see if the Rockies can get to him early, but doesn't matter because Noah Davis is on the mound for the Rockies, and after the Phillies took it on the chin last night, they're going to be super aggressive against Davis in the early going. I like the yes runs first inning in the Phillies-Rockies. Our next game we're going to go to is Baltimore up against the Detroit Tigers. Michael Lorenzen serving for the Detroit Tigers, man. This guy, when he's not giving up hits and home runs and all kinds of stuff like that, what he's doing is walking batters. And if there's a guy out there, like a prime candidate of any pitcher in Major League Baseball, that you say, man, who's a guy that can possibly walk in or run for me? Michael Lorenzen. I nominate him to be our guy to do that. Tyler Wells on the other side for the Orioles is no day at the beach either for defenses and for NRFIs, that's for sure. I like the NRFI in the Baltimore Tigers game. I think this one, man, two teams that really can hit the baseball and really at a point in the pitching rotation where this should be a hitter's game. I think we could maybe throw in an over 8.5 on this game as well while we're there. It's not going to take much to convince me to put another bet in. Most people know that. But anyways, we go to our next game. The Guardians taking on the Marlins. Two good pitching teams, right? Both these teams have good pitchers up and down the lineup. Braxton Garrett is a really good strikeout guy for the Marlins. This guy gets into a lot of trouble, though. So he's a magician. He's one of these kind of like Lance Lynn's who seem to always have runners on base. It's usually self-created with some walks in there, too. So he's going to give the Guardians an opportunity to get on the board. On the other side of this one, Plesac is pretty good in his own right at avoiding, getting hit around on. But at the same time, both these guys, I think if you're going to get to them, you got to get them right out of the gate. And I think both these teams have the lineups that can do that. I like the NRFI in the Marlins against the Guardians. Next up, Yurfie. Angels taking on the Kansas City Royals. Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Angels. He's been vulnerable early in some games. Once he gets settled in, he has been dominating. But Taylor Clark is on the mound here for the Royals. And boy, remember him from last time that we saw him in relief. He's a reliever who's starting today, so it's probably going to be a bullpen game. But I'll tell you, he's not one of these guys that comes in and shuts the other team down. Last time out against Texas, 1 inning, 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 earned runs on 32 pitches. Against that Angels lineup, I like our chances of seeing a run hit the board. We'll take the Yurfie with the Angels taking on the Royals. Our next game, we're going to go to Boston against the Red Sox, visiting Milwaukee. Freddie Peralta, another strikeout guy on the mound for the Brewers. But the Brewers, they have been super efficient offensively, 14-5. I mean, has there ever been a quieter 14-5? I'm not sure, but what we have here is a Brewers team that's 14-5 up against Nick Pivetta, who certainly is a hittable pitcher as well. I like the Yurfie in this one. The Red Sox, of course, these guys are free swingers, and right at the top of that lineup, Verdugo really having a nice start to the season. Also, who will be batting in that first inning is Devers, who's the leader in home runs in the American League. So I like the Yurfie in the first inning in the Red Sox Brewers. It just makes sense in a game, in this type of game. And our last one for today is the Nerfie in the Diamondbacks against the Padres. One of the best pitching matchups on the board. We got Zach Gallen on the mound for the D-backs and Seth Lugo on the mound for the Padres. Lugo, we saw mostly him out of the bullpen when he was a member of the Mets. But here in the starting role in San Diego, he has been pretty sensational. And Zach Gallen, this guy is a career sub-3 ERA guy. And what that usually means is, like, if he pitched in a place like Los Angeles, New York, or Chicago, he'd be minus 250 to minus 300 every single time he took the mound. If he ever goes up for free agency, you'll see this guy's a $35 million guy if he signs in LA or New York. But in this one, I think runs are going to be tough to come by, period, let alone in the first inning. I'm going to go with the Nerfie and the Diamondbacks Padres, and I'm going to say this is our strongest play on today's board, is the Nerfie in the Diamondbacks against the Padres. But anyways, let's recap all of the picks for today and everything that we've gone over. Of course, be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel if you like this videos, and if you like sports betting pick videos and prediction videos. Props we have home run props, we have player props, we've got Ron's rundown of every Major League Baseball game. Then we do individual games videos for every game that's on the board. Of course, Jay's Jam Session covering the NBA. That's just at this time of year. As the calendar turns, we have even more stuff. So you guys be sure to stay tuned. Sure, subscribe to our channel. Of course, if you have picks today, I'd love to hear those. Put those in the comments before the games start. We're all heroes after the games are over. I can always tell you who was going to win. I knew they were going to win. I told you they were going to win. Well, tell me who's going to win before the game starts, so this way we can bet on it and cash some tickets. I only sit here every day not to, prove a point or do anything. I come here to beat the books, and hopefully you guys are here for the same reason. So let's beat the books together. Of course, if you want to support our site without buying anything at our site or doing anything, you can always go to Pickdawgz.com, click on the Sportsbook tab, and sign up for a book. It's to your advantage. It's a win-win. But anyways, let's go back and just recap the picks real quickly. We took the yes runs first inning in this is the yesterday's that we cashed. We can cash that again. That would be awesome. We took the no runs first inning in the Cubs-Dodgers. The wind is blowing out the center, so I believe that we're going to have an over in that game. So I think both these pitchers are going to have to tap dance around it. We'll take the Nerfie, though. This is a pure counterintuitive play, because my guess is you can see it's even money. So see if we can cash this thing. Next one is going to be the Rays and the White Sox. Yes, runs first inning. Yeah, 2 hittable pitchers and lineups that swing away. Always a good thing for the Nerfie. The Pirates, like I was saying, showing yesterday's picks, which we would like to bet them again. We can bet them again. We'll just do it again today. We're taking the Nerfie. We've been cashing this thing. We're playing with house money on the Pirates and the Nerfie, that's for sure. Meanwhile, the Rockies and the Phillies, Noah Davis is pitching for the Rockies. There's a good chance the Phillies are going to get some cracks at him after yesterday's poor offensive performance. Probably going to come out slugging away. Got the Orioles taking on the Tigers. Michael Lorenzen against Tyler Wells. Oh, man, either of these guys are fully capable of giving up multiple runs in the first inning. We've got the Guardians taking on the Marlins. One of those things where it's like the Guardians get off fast at home. The Yerfies hit 8 times in a row in Cleveland. If you want to get to good pitchers, you get to them early. Garrett has really, really good stuff. He's still really young, so he's a little bit on the wild side, so he could get himself in trouble with the Guardians without them even getting a hit, and then it just takes, a little bit of manufacturing just to get that run across the board, which the Guardians do often early. Our next one, we took the Angels, yes runs first inning in their matchup against the Kansas City Royals. Yeah, Kansas City, one of the worst teams in baseball. I think Oakland has an excuse. I'm not sure what Kansas City's is, but I'm sure we'll be hearing about it often from those Royals fans. The next one, we took the yes runs first inning in the Brewers against the Red Sox. The Red Sox in the underdog role have hit the Yerfie 8 times in a row. Also, Nick Pavetta's pitching today for the Red Sox, so good reason for them to be dogs. Our next one and final pick of the show was the no runs first inning in the Diamondbacks against the Padres. For me, on this show, this is my best bet of the Yerfie show. Zach Gallen and Seth Lugo. I think this first inning is going to be one of the quickest first innings of the year, and I believe that it hits the Nerfie. Of course, we do this every single day here at Pickdawgz.com, so be sure to tune in every single day. Be sure to smash that like, share this with your friends, tell them all about it. Let's cash some tickets. I think we're just waiting on that heater, which is just around the corner. Have an awesome day. Let's crush the books together.